Hi, Judy. Welcome. My name's Rachel.
Oh, hi, Dr. Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Well, I don't really want to be here, but I told my mom I would try.
I'm sorry you don't want to be here. Hopefully, by the end of our session today, we can kind of get to know each other a little bit better.
Okay.
Before we get started in our session, I just want to talk about limits to confidentiality. Are you familiar?
Well, like that you can't tell anybody?
Yeah, kind of like that. So everything you say in our sessions will remain completely confidential. However, if you were to talk about harm to self, harm to others, if there was suspected abuse or neglect, or if I was court-ordered, then I would have to breach that confidentiality.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Judy?
Right. So that means you can't tell my mom if she asks.
Nope, yep, your mom will not know what we talk about.
Can she make more appointments for me?
Well, usually we would prefer if our clients make their own appointments since are you over 18?
Oh, way over 18.
Yeah, we would prefer if you were to make appointments because of the confidentiality rules.
Okay.
Okay?
So then I wouldn't necessarily have to come back if I don't want to.
No, you wouldn't, but I hope we have a good time today and you want to come back. But like I said, that's up to you.
Okay.
So today we're here to do an intake assessment. This is something we do before we initiate counseling. So today we're going to be talking about your presenting problem. We're going to talk a little bit about who you are in your past. And then we're also going to talk about your current functioning, what you're feeling today. How does that sound?
Okay. How long is this going to be?
Probably about 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any questions for me, Judy, before we get started?
Well, did you tell me what your experience was?
I have my graduate degree in school counseling. I've been working in the field for about a year.
That's all?
Yep. Yeah. Well, in a master's program, we have internship hours we have to complete before graduation. So I have a lot of work hours under my belt.
So do you have anybody you work with who might be older and have more experience if I decide I don't like you?
Yeah, we do. Yep. In the office, we do have other counselors that you could talk to. But I would like to make you feel as comfortable as possible.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Sure.
And you may be wondering why we would be talking about your past when you're here for presenting problems. Our office, we do Adlerian approach to counseling.
What's that?
Alfred Adler was a well-known psychologist, and Adlerians believe that they take a very holistic approach to counseling. They want to talk about your past, get to know who you are, talk about all aspects of your life, because that usually helps us understand why you might be having your presenting problem.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think you'll like it, Judy.
Sure.
All right, well, let's get started. Do you mind if I take notes throughout our session, just so I remember everything we talk about?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So is your full name Judy?
Judith Ann Smith.
Okay. When were you born?
July 1st, 1975.
Okay. And where are you from, Judy?
Well, I was born in Albuquerque.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting place. New Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
What brought you to Minnesota?
Well, because I live with my mom, she wanted to come back to Minnesota. She's from here.
Okay.
So I had to come with her, she told me.
Are you liking it up north so far?
Well, I've only been here for 2 months, and I really don't have any friends. Although I didn't have any friends in Albuquerque either. And so I don't know anybody, and I just live at home with my mom, and it's kind of hard sometimes.
That must be really tough not to know many people in a new environment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you're here today, and welcome to Minnesota.
Thanks.
So let's get started. Why are you here today, Judy, and how can I be of help to you?
Well, my mom said I had to come because I'm really anxious, and I just get panic-stricken.
Mm-hmm. That must be really scary to get panic stricken.
It is. Sometimes, I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I just.
Yeah. Um, what might be the causes of those panic attacks, it sounds like?
Well, because I think I just take on too much stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I have to do everything perfect, and so then I run out of time, and I just get real panicky.
Sure. It sounds like you take on a lot and you get really anxious from all that, and it sounds like you might want to be taking on less.
But it's hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. It can be really hard to say no.
And my mom expects me to do everything.
Jody, I've noticed that you've mentioned your mom has made you come here a lot. Tell me more about that.
Well, she just said, you have to get some help because you're too anxious and nervous, and you're going to have a heart attack.
It sounds like your mom cares about you.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Is that your only problem that you'd be coming in here today, is the panic attacks?
Isn't that enough?
Well, I just want to make sure that we cover, all the bases.
Okay.
Is that your presenting problem then?
Yep.
All right. So when did these panic attacks first start to occur?
Oh, probably 20 years ago when I was 21.
Okay. So you've been having them for quite a while?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. What might be some of the causes of these panic attack symptoms? Do you have any idea?
No.
Okay. Well, they started when you were 21. Can you tell me about your first panic attack that you remember?
Well, see, I think it was because I got drunk. And my mother and father were very much against drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I got drunk, and then I came home and I had to pretend I wasn't drunk. And so then I think that's kind of when I first had my first panic attack. And it was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, what am I going to do? And luckily they were sleeping and they didn't hear me come home. So.
Okay.
But then I was still panicky every time she said anything to me that day.
Mm-hmm. The next day?
Yeah.
Okay. So then after that first experience, did you start experiencing panic attacks more often?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I can't really remember back that far.
Okay.
It was probably the last 10 years since my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
I have them more.
So you don't really remember the past, but how about what do they look like in today? How many panic attacks would you have a day?
Oh, I have them every single day before I go to work.
Wow.
I have to go to the bathroom 3 times before I leave the house. I'm just a nervous wreck.
Sounds like they're making you sick.
They do.
Wow. All right, so I'm just curious. So you did touch that you feel physically sick from your panic attacks.
Sick to my stomach.
Is there any other physical symptoms besides feeling sick to your stomach?
Well, I think I overeat. Is that physical?
Yeah, that could be. So overeating and then feeling sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
Anything else? Physically, symptoms?
Well, sometimes I get headaches.
Okay. So it sounds like your panic attacks are really interfering with your work.
Well, so far my boss hasn't said anything to me, but I do take at least 1 sick day every 2 weeks.
Okay. Have you ever thought about having a conversation with your employer?
And tell him that I'm anxious?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
He'd probably fire me.
Does it interfere with your relationships at all, with your mom or your friends?
I don't have any friends.
How about with your mom?
Well, she makes me anxious.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. I'm wondering what it is about your mom that makes you so anxious. I've noticed you've brought that up a lot.
Well, because I think she expects perfection.
Mm-hmm. And you expect perfection as well.
Well, How can I not?
You've grown up with it.
That's right.
Yeah. Judy, do you have a significant other? Or are you single?
No, I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh. So it really is just affecting your relationship with your mom.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I've got 10 brothers and sisters, too.
Okay. Does it affect your relationship with your brothers and sisters?
Well, they think I'm just kind of weird.
Are you close to any of your siblings?
Not really.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're having these panic attacks and you're really anxious because you're taking on a lot. Your mom puts a lot of pressure on you to be perfect. So I'm really clear as to why you've come to counseling, but I'm wondering, why have you come now? Why is a good time for you to come?
Because my mom told me I had to.
Okay. Did you have any interest in coming or any thoughts of coming to counseling?
No.
Okay.
I think she needs counseling.
Well, that might be so, but I would really like to focus on you today, Judy.
Okay.
All right. So far we've talked about your panic attacks and some symptoms that you've had, and why we're here at counseling. But now I'd like to get a better sense of who you are as a person, and the best way for me to do that is to kind of learn about your past. Does that sound okay?
Oh, gosh. Like I said, I don't remember much. I'm kind of old.
Well, why don't you tell me what it was like growing up, being you?
Well, when you're the youngest of 10 brothers and sisters, you can bet that you got all the hand-me-downs.
Mm-hmm.
They teased you.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I only grew up with one sibling, so I can't imagine 10. It must have been a crazy household.
It was.
Yeah, lots of activity going on, I bet.
All the time.
Did you have any siblings that you were really close to?
No, because I was younger than the rest of them.
Okay. So there wasn't one sibling that you kind of gravitated towards?
Nope.
Okay. So tell me about what else you remember from growing up.
Well, what do I remember? Like about what?
Anything that you can remember about growing up.
Well, we didn't always have enough food for everybody.
Okay.
So that was kind of hard sometimes because I went to school hungry.
Mhm.
And like I said, I always got the hand-me-downs, and so usually there was probably holes in my clothes because 7 other girls wore them.
Mhm.
So I got made fun of a lot at school, and I think I kind of got bullied too.
You got bullied at school?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you kind of got bullied at home by your brothers and sisters as well.
Well, I don't know. Do siblings bully you?
I mean, sibling rivalry. So what is your earliest memory that you can remember?
About what?
Anything. The earliest memory that you remember.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I just remember. Well, when I was I was born in Albuquerque, but then we moved to Colorado. And I do remember living in the mountains, and that was kind of cool.
Mhm.
Because we were kind of like hermits, you know. We didn't have a whole lot of electricity and lights, and so it was kind of cool sometimes.
Mhm.
But then I never got to bring any friends home because I guess I was embarrassed or whatever.
Sounds like you have some fond memories from Albuquerque.
Yeah, and Colorado. And then we went back to Albuquerque because that's where my grandma and grandpa lived.
Okay. So you lived in Colorado for a while?
We lived in Colorado for a while.
Okay. So describe your parents to me. Maybe 3 words to describe your mom and 3 words to describe your dad.
Well, let's see. My mom never worked, and she was like a general. very strict.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad he drank a lot. And sometimes they argued. And he worked a lot.
Okay. Could you give me 3 words to describe your mom?
Oh, I thought I did.
Like adjectives.
Well, she was kind of ugly.
Mm-hmm.
She was strict.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what else I said about her. Strict, ugly. Sometimes she was mean.
Strict, ugly, and mean?
Yeah.
Would you say she's still like that today?
Actually, she's kind of gotten prettier.
Okay. And strict and mean?
Yeah.
All right. How about your dad? You mentioned he passed away 10 years ago.
Yep.
How about 3 words to describe your dad?
He was a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
He drank a lot. And he was kind of strict too.
Okay. So you grew up in a very strict household.
Yep.
With lots of brothers and sisters.
Yep.
So what kind
of... 7 sisters and 3 brothers.
Okay. So what kind of activities did you do with your family?
Well, we used to camp in the woods when we lived in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd go fishing in the rivers to catch food, fish to eat.
Okay. So you have some fond memories of camping with your family?
No, because I almost drowned.
Okay.
That was real scary.
That must have been really scary. How old were you?
5.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
I don't really remember it. I just remember being in the water and losing my footing and I couldn't breathe and actually that was probably my first panic attack. I was I was just really scared.
That must have been terrifying.
It was.
So what kind of, I know you mentioned you didn't have very many friends growing up, but did you have any friends growing up? Like one best friend?
Nope.
Okay, that must have been really hard.
It was.
I can tell by your voice that you're pretty upset about that.
I am.
Tell me a little bit more about that sadness.
What do you want me to say?
Whatever comes to mind.
Well, I was just sad because I never had friends.
And it sounds like you're having trouble with friends now too because you're new to the state.
I don't know how to make friends.
It's really hard. I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling with that, Judy.
Can you help me?
Yeah, that's why we're here today.
You can help me make friends?
Well, I can help you. I can give you the tools you need to hopefully make yourself feel better, and hopefully we can get you some friends that way.
Okay, well, I hope so.
Yeah. So, Judy, who was a really positive influence in your life when you were growing up?
I don't think anybody.
Can you think of one person who really influenced you?
What would be who would be a positive influence?
Well, for me, a lot of my teachers in school were really positive influences. Family, friends.
Well, yeah, I mean, my teachers were always good to me. They helped me.
Well, that's good.
I think it was my 6th grade teacher who used to hold my hand and make me feel better.
Oh. Was it a female or a male?
It was a female teacher.
So you really connected with her then?
I did.
Well, that's good. It's nice when you have a teacher that you can connect with.
She was kind of old, though. She was like about my grandma's age.
Well, that's okay. hey, you connected with her and she's a good teacher. You have good memories of her.
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to her.
Yeah. So Judy, now I just want to ask you, what is your ultimate career goal? And I never asked, are you working now?
Yeah. I
Okay.
work in a mail room.
Okay. Um, is that where you'd like to stay, or do you have other career goals that you'd like to accomplish?
Well, I'm not very smart, and so I can't do too much. I don't know how to use a computer or whatever, so I just sort the mail and deliver the mail.
All that set aside, if you could choose any career, what would you want to do?
Oh, I'd like to be a model.
Yeah? What about modeling draws you to modeling?
The girls are so skinny and pretty.
Anything else that draws you towards modeling?
Well, they get to travel.
Do you like to travel, Judy?
I'd like to see if I do.
Yeah. Well, that's a good goal. To travel. What do you think?
Are you gonna go with me?
I can't go with you.
Oh, darn.
Anyway, so now I've kind of gotten to know you, a little bit about your family, all your siblings growing up. We talked about, some of the activities you did with your family, how you connected with your school teacher, what one of your career goals might be. So now I really want to kind of take it back to your major concerns about the panic attacks.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to shift back to what your life is like now. So if you could, would you describe a typical day in your life today?
I get up. I have to do all kinds of work before I go to work because my mom wants a spick and span clean house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'm going to be late and I make myself anxious and I get sick to my stomach. Sometimes I throw up. Sometimes it comes out the other side. And I go to the bathroom like 3 times and then I'm almost late for work.
And then you get to work, and what is work
And then I
like?
get to work, and then I have to do the mail, and then if I do it too slow, somebody complains, but I want to make sure the right people get the right mail, and so sometimes I take my time, and they don't like it, and then the phone rings, and I have to answer the phone, and I have to do something else, and I get sidetracked, and then I have to go back, and then I forget where I was, and so I start over. And it's just this vicious circle all day long sometimes.
Mm-hmm. How much time do you spend at work? What does your work schedule look like?
Well, I get to work. I'm supposed to get to work at 8:30, and I usually get there by 8 o'clock because I don't want to be late, and I just want to relax and try to relax, but I can't because then I start looking at stuff and sometimes I get sidetracked and so I work from 8:30 until 10:30, and then I get a break, but I usually just go sit in the bathroom by myself, and then I go back to work, and then I have lunch for a half an hour, and I usually just go sit outside, and then I come back and I work, and I go home at 5 o'clock.
And what do you do once you get home?
Well, if the bus is late, if the bus is on time, I get home by 6 o'clock. But if the bus is late, sometimes it's 7 o'clock before I get home. And then my mom's upset because dinner is cold and she hasn't eaten, and so then that makes me anxious, and so then I can't eat, and so then I go to the bathroom again, and I'm sick, and then then she's upset because I'm upset, and it's just horrible. And then I go to bed and I'm hungry, and about 2 o'clock in the morning I get up and I try to be quiet and go make a snack, and she always hears me and she says, "What are you doing?" And sometimes I just pretend I don't hear her and I don't answer, And then she gets up and then she's mad at me. And other times, if I do answer her, she gets up and she's still mad at me, and she wants to make sure I clean up everything. And it just goes on and on and on. And then I get anxious, and I can't do anything.
It sounds like this anxiousness has really taken over your life.
It is.
Do you have much time alone, Judy?
No.
Do you wish you had more time to yourself?
Well, I don't know what I do, but I don't have any hobbies or anything.
What would you like to do?
I'd like to be a model.
Anything else?
I'd like to be smart.
So let's just say that, we start counseling and it's very successful and you notice major changes in your life. What in your life will have changed?
Say that again?
So let's say we start therapy and it's successful and you notice major changes in your life. What would your life look like? What would you want to see in your life?
I'd be that model traveling. Could I be an old model?
Maybe.
Huh.
What else would you like to see?
I'd like to learn how to use the computer.
Okay. What about your relationship with your mom? How would that be?
I don't know. Probably still the same, because she wouldn't change.
Mm-hmm. But if, you were very successful in counseling and you really helped, you
I would be
felt
more
better.
tolerable.
Okay. What would your anxiousness look like, if therapy was successful?
Well, hopefully I wouldn't be anxious anymore.
And what would you do if you weren't so anxious and sick all the time?
Well, then I could probably make friends.
Okay. And what else?
I don't know. Is there supposed to be something else?
Well, that's up to you.
Well, let's start small.
So, from what we've gathered here today, I really hear you saying that your anxiousness has taken over your life. It's made you sick to your stomach, and you'd really like to live a life with less anxiousness.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that would be a great goal for us to start with for counseling, to work on that. What do you think?
Sure. So how are we going to do this? How often do I have to come?
Well, probably once a week, I'm thinking.
Really?
And now that we've kind of taken the time to get to know each other and we've done the intake assessment, I can kind of determine what treatment plans might work best for you.
I don't do any drugs.
No, not drugs. Yeah, we don't do drugs here. Treatment plans as in like what kind of goals we can create to help you become your best well self.
Okay. How long is it going to take?
Well, that kind of depends. It varies from person to person, and we can just kind of see how it goes. Hopefully we can get you on track and feeling better as soon as possible. That's my goal.
Well, you're very caring.
Thank you, Judy. I see you're upset. Is it a happy cry or?
It's a happy cry.
Oh. Well, I hope that you got to know me a little bit better, and I hope you're comfortable with me. And I hope you would like to continue counseling with me.
Well, I don't think I can come every week, though.
Okay, well, you know what? I can kind of give you a call and we can set something up. And whatever you're comfortable with, Judy, I'd like to go with what you're comfortable with.
That would be good.
All right, well, it's nice to meet you.
You too, Rachel.
Thank you.